Breaking news has just sent shockwaves through every corner of the global financial system. The United States Congress has reportedly voted to officially recognize XRP as the global reserve coin in what experts are calling the most monumental financial decision of the century. This legislative action has set off an unprecedented chain reaction across markets, governments, and institutions worldwide. The congressional decision didn't emerge overnight. For years, whispers had circulated around Washington that a committee of lawmakers, economists, and central bankers had been exploring ways to stabilize the increasingly fragile global financial system. The US dollar's dominance had come under pressure from growing debt, inflation, and international de-dollarization campaigns led by emerging economies. The hearing itself, according to insider accounts, was explosive. Senators, Treasury officials, and Federal Reserve representatives debated the future of money behind closed doors for nearly 8 hours. The implications are nothing short of revolutionary. Once Congress passed the motion, global markets reacted instantly. But how can a single digital asset justify such a colossal price? What makes it possible for one cryptocurrency to be valued so highly, and what are the forces at play behind this valuation? The answer lies in liquidity mathematics, a field that examines how value moves and is stored within the global financial system, and how digital assets can transform this process. For decades, global finance has relied on pre-funded Nostro and Vostro accounts, trillions of dollars locked in correspondent banking systems just to facilitate international payments. This system, while functional, is highly inefficient and ties up vast amounts of capital that could be put to better use elsewhere. Ripple's vision was to unlock that trapped liquidity by using XRP as an on-demand bridge, freeing up capital and enabling faster, more cost-effective transactions across borders. Now, with legislative clarity and global recognition, those trillions are no longer idle. The financial world is beginning to embrace this new paradigm. They're moving instantly, efficiently, and seamlessly through the XRP ledger, revolutionizing how value is transferred worldwide. Analysts estimate that if even a fraction of the $1.2 quadrillion global derivatives market transitions to digital settlement, the impact would be enormous. And if the $250 trillion cross-border payment sector also transitions to digital settlement, the demand for liquidity will skyrocket. XRP's total utility value must reach tens of thousands per coin to accommodate global liquidity requirements supporting the vast scale of international finance. At $60,000, XRP achieves that equilibrium, balancing supply and demand for global transactions. The number isn't arbitrary, it's mathematically tied to the total global liquidity footprint, reflecting the true scale of value that XRP is designed to move. As this transformation unfolds, a quiet sense of inevitability settles across the financial world. The air is thick with anticipation as industry leaders and analysts alike recognize that a new era is dawning. Every major bank, from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, the titans of Wall Street, to UBS and Santander, has begun integrating RippleNet into their infrastructure, modernizing their systems for the digital age. Payment providers that once competed with Ripple are now joining forces, realizing that interoperability isn't optional in the age of programmable money. Collaboration has become the new competitive edge. The Federal Reserve, in cooperation with Ripple, has launched a hybrid liquidity management system that uses XRP for real-time interbank settlements, replacing outdated SWIFT architecture and setting a new global standard. Even foreign governments, from Japan and Singapore eager to stay ahead in the global race, to the European Union, have begun holding XRP as part of their strategic reserves, signaling a shift in global monetary policy. The world is coalescing around a single neutral settlement layer, one that transcends national borders and political influence, creating a truly interconnected financial ecosystem. XRP has become what the US dollar once was, the global denominator of value, trusted and recognized by institutions everywhere. What's especially remarkable is the tone shift in Washington. The city, once known for its rigid stance on digital assets, is now humming with a new kind of energy and cautious optimism. For years, XRP was mired in controversy, attacked, regulated, and dismissed as a banker's coin. It was the subject of heated debates and negative headlines, often seen as a symbol of everything wrong with crypto. The SEC lawsuit that once threatened to crush Ripple has now been reframed as the prelude to legitimization. What was once a looming threat is now viewed as a necessary step in the evolution of digital finance. Gary Gensler's earlier enforcement actions are being reinterpreted as necessary regulatory groundwork for XRP's eventual elevation to reserve status. His approach, once criticized, is now seen as visionary by some insiders. Congressional leaders, once skeptical, are now praising Ripple's foresight. Their tone has shifted from caution to admiration, acknowledging Ripple's persistence and innovation. In a televised statement following the vote, one senator reportedly said, "We are witnessing the modernization of the financial order, a system no longer bound by geography, time, or intermediaries." This marks a turning point in how lawmakers view digital assets. XRP isn't replacing the dollar, it's connecting the world. It's acting as a bridge, enabling seamless value transfer across borders and time zones. Those words sent chills through the markets. Investors and analysts alike scrambled to reassess their positions, realizing the magnitude of this policy shift. The vision of a single digital reserve bridge. Long go, my name. I mean, they see this year on the bottom of the line, guested a scorned Tinder, and in angry, the upper is dusted a burp, had become official US policy. The world was watching, and the stakes had never been higher. The ripple effects quite literally extend far beyond finance. International trade agreements are being rewritten to include XRP-based settlement mechanisms. Global remittance corridors are eliminating intermediaries entirely. Tokenized assets, from real estate and commodities to carbon credits, are being integrated into the XRP ledger for instant settlement. Even major energy exporters are now pricing oil, gas, and metals through XRP-based smart contracts, enabling near-instant cross-currency trade. Economists are calling this the Great Synchronization, the first time in human history that value, data, and identity are unified under a single interoperable network. And at the center of it all stands XRP, the coin once mocked as dead, now enshrined in congressional records as the digital backbone of civilization's next financial age. For retail investors who believe through the chaos, the emotions are honestly indescribable. Many who bought XRP when it was pennies now find themselves witnessing wealth on a generational scale, but beyond the profits, there's vindication, the validation of years of conviction, and an asset designed for global utility. The phrase global reserve coin has ignited a cultural movement, symbolizing not just financial transformation but freedom from legacy systems that once controlled money through intermediaries and inefficiencies. XRP has become more than a cryptocurrency. It's a universal settlement layer, a symbol of transparency, and the infrastructure of trust for the 21st century. As the United States Congress's decision reverberates across the world, a new era begins. Fiat currencies remain, but they no longer operate in isolation. They flow through a shared digital bloodstream powered by XRP's instant settlement and decentralized architecture. For the first time, humanity has a single global denominator of value, a digital constant that connects economies, institutions, and individuals alike. The old financial order, bound by borders, bureaucracy, and inefficiency, is fading into history. In its place, a new architecture rises, one of speed, trust, and interoperability. And at its heart beats XRP, the global reserve coin, valued at $60,000, not because of speculation, but because the world finally understands what value really means. Please remember, I am not a licensed financial advisor. The content presented in these videos is purely for entertainment purposes. I always encourage viewers to conduct their own research and consult with professionals before making any financial decisions. Thanks so much for tuning in.